guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to tell you how to write the method section tips and tricks that I actually used and probably will helpful when you start writing the method section. So this is something kind of relatively easier than writing introduction, because this is something you already done in your research. You are going to write it in a procedure that you actually do. So what you have to remember, this is one thing that you really need to remember. Let's say that you are the person that going to repeat this uh, research experiment, and once you read the method section you can exactly repeat the same thing. You should able to repeat the same thing. That's the point of writing the method. So you need to write exact information that somebody else can actually repeat your experiment, and make sure to write every single small details that you think is valuable somebody else who is going to repeat your experiment. That's the most important tip that I want to tell you. And the second thing is, as I told you earlier, remember to save all the small protocols, labels and dates you think will specifically important, days and times and you think is important. Write them all down in a one notebook, this research notebook. Then once you need those information, you have them all. And I prefer to have Google drive with those information, because we are actually sharing that information in our research group, and that will be easier to share with the other research member if you want. So how a Google Drive is much easier, make life much easier for you. If you have specific data, pictures and methods, protocols that you like to share with the research members, you can actually upload them into the Google Drive, and then it's much easier way to write them down. So what we do in our research lab is that my supervisor train us to do is write the procedure like the way you actually going to write in your thesis, and we have those documents ready, so we just have to copy and paste when you actually start writing your thesis. So that's make life so much easier, because if you wait for the last minute to write the method section, you will probably forget 70% of actual stuff you have done. So it's better to write them down the same time that actually you're doing, then you remember most of the things and small tips that really matters. Small things that really matters. So that's the better way to do that. Write your protocols, the procedures that the actual day you actually practicing or doing your experiment. Another thing is the statistical analysis. This is again really important. So it's better to have a good statistical knowledge when it's come to any kind of research, because that's how you are going to say that your research is really significantly important, or going to do a different or how significant that is. Like that kind of stuff cannot be actually said without the statistical analysis. So to understand which kind of experiment design you are going to use, or to understand what kind of statistical analysis you're going to use, you need to have a knowledge about statistics. So what I recommend, if you're undergrad or grad students, better to take a statistical course. Doesn't matter which subject you are doing. If you're in your science field, it's probably really important to do a statistical course. And because it's one thing, it's easier to understand the statistical analysis somebody else did in their research, and when you are doing your research, because the number of variables you're using probably different from their research publication that is out there, out somewhere else. So your experiment design is going to be changed, and the statistical analysis method is going to be changed. So that's why you need to have a knowledge, because you cannot do the same thing. So you need to understand your situation and apply the statistical knowledge you have. This is really important, and my my advice is get a course for that before you actually write that experiment. Otherwise, the way you interpret your data and how you going to these analysis is going to be completely different from the actual way you should really do. So these are the small tips I have, and I want to tell you, if you're using number of variables, make sure to write them down. If you're using samples, different sample sizes, make sure to write them down. If you have a p-values, different p-values, make sure to write them down. And every small tips that you think really important, you should write them down in your protocols, that somebody else can actually repeat your experiment in somewhere else. Hope this may helpful for you, and see you in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe my video channel. Hope you enjoy.